Hey guys, Automatic Garage back today. We have a 2002 F250 here. We're going to put a steering gearbox on it today, so y'all stick on with us and watch us get this done. All right, so we had already done ball joints, tie rod ends, drag link, track bar, everything else on this truck, and the customer stated he still felt like it's not steering great. So me and several other people drove the truck, said that it feels like a normal Super Duty to us. I think they're not used to driving a leaf sprung, straight axle, 3/4 or 1 ton truck, and that's the main problem. But he's adamant about putting a steering box on it. So regardless, it's his money, he wants it done, whatever. So I'm gonna walk y'all through doing this gearbox here, so let me turn you around. So to get easy access here to where our steering shaft is and our lines and everything else, it doesn't take but just a minute to pull the fender liner. So we're gonna do that. And you got 7/30 seconds to go around the fender well here. Back y'all up just a little bit. So you got 7/30 seconds to go around the fender well here, and you got your 8mm one. There's supposed to be one here that's missing, and then you got 2 right here at the front. And then they get your fender liner out. So when we get done pulling all these out, we'll get the fender liner out and we'll catch up there. All right, now with our fender liner out, there is so much room for activities here. So first things first, you have this plastic cover. We're gonna slide that back. That's gonna give us access to our connection to the pump right here. Or sorry, to the gearbox, I mean, right here. So we're gonna back that out. That'll get our steering shaft off. We gotta disconnect the 2 hoses here. We gotta go down and remove our drag link off of the pitman arm. And that should be it then. And then 3 bolts for the gearbox here. And we'll have that out. It's really not too bad of a job. It's very nice having a lift here, of course, because this is right here at chest height that I'm doing this. So let me get the tools for this and we'll start pulling this stuff off. All right, so both of your lines that go into the box here are 5/8. Bust both of these loose, and you need to have a pan ready because you're going to make a little bit of a mess. Let me go underneath that line. So back these out. And then we're going to move on to getting our bolt out for our slip joint on the box there. All right, we got both of our lines off. I've clamped this one over here to stay out of the way. This one's tucked behind the power steering hose right there. It's a 13mm to get the slip joint here. And you want to make sure your key's out and your steering wheel's locked so that you don't have the steering wheel spinning around messing your clock spring up. You want to take this bolt all the way out. And then slide it off. So now that's free. So now we've removed our drag link. This one wasn't extra stuck because we had just, like I said, recently done this in the last week. So just take your cotter pin out, take the castellated nut off, hit this thing a few times with a hammer, and then it's gonna release itself. I did this earlier and didn't do it on camera, sorry. But whatever you do, don't be beating on the top of this shaft, especially if you're reusing this. We've zip tied it here onto our tie rod so that it's not flopping around, because I'm going up and down with the lift doing this. I didn't want it hanging down low. So we ain't got to worry about the pitman arm right now because we're going to do it off the truck. Not to mention the track bar bracket is in the way with this being 4-wheel drive. So now that this is off, we're going to go drop it back down. We're going to take our bolts out that hold the gearbox on. All right, we're removing our 3 9/16. Hold our box on. And it won't fall. It'll sit there for you. All right, we got an 1 5/16 socket on our pitman arm nut. So forgive me, I didn't video, but that pitman arm was stuck worse than I've ever had one stuck before. Stripped out my pitman arm puller, the threads on it, So I put it in here in the press, 6x6 blocks, my metal plates here, and that's a bearing puller. And it popped it right off. About 4 or 5 pumps, it come right off. So it's a very invaluable tool to have. All right, new pump. You can see it has these little indexing marks on it. The gear has the same indexing marks on it. Just go on and line them up. Of course, this is the back of the pump. This is the front of the pump where your drag link hooks up. Putting our washer and our nut back on. We're gonna torque this down. All right, we are torqued. This goes to 350 foot-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench that goes that high, just use your impact and put it on there real good and tight. Make sure you use Loctite. Always put Loctite on this. So now we're gonna put our pump back in, or sorry, put our gearbox back in, get our 3 bolts started, get that tightened up, and then it'll just be reassembly of everything that we took off. All right, we got our 3 bolts all tightened back up. We're gonna take these plugs out one at a time so that we don't get trash in here, and hook our lines up one at a time. All right, we just put our steering shaft back on. We're gonna put our bolt in. It goes to 26 foot-pounds. And if you look, I can show you on the older box here easier. You have a flat spot right here. This is where your bolt's gonna come through right here in this spot. So don't try to force that shaft on with these splines without having the bolt portion lined up with this flat spot here. We're gonna slide our plastic back over here. And now we can raise it up and put our drag link on. All right, we got our drag link back on, torqued to 69 foot-pounds, put our cotter pin back in. So now we're gonna drop it down. We're gonna fill the power steering pump up, crank it up, and we gotta go back and forth, bleed the air out of the system, and keep adding fluid while we bleed the air out. So when you bleed, you don't go full tilt on your steering either way. You go about 3/4 left, 3/4 right, check your fluid, keep going back and forth. Don't let it run out of fluid or you'll be starting all back over getting the air out. So it's all together, no leaks. We purged the air out of our system, had to top the pump off 2 or 3 times while we were doing our rotation, the steering wheel back and forth, kept doing that until the fluid was not frothy and bubbling anymore. Cleaned our oil up. We got no leaks here at our fitting, so now all we gotta do is throw our inner fender well in, and we'll be ready to go drive this and see how it does. So the truck drove slightly better with the new gearbox, not a drastic difference to me. I thought it drove fine before, however, and so did several other people that work with me here at the shop that are used to driving these trucks. He's got some spring issues on the back I tried to tell him about. I tried to tell him that that's what needed to be addressed, but it's his money. He was adamant about having this gearbox, so whatever, his money. So anyways, that's how you do this on these trucks, 99 to 07. This will be pretty much the same process. Go check us out at Automatic Garage, Instagram and Rumble. If this video helped you out or you just like the channel, we'd appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below and the like button. This is Automatic Garage signing out. We'll holler at y'all later.